Well, I'm still at it. Sanding and painting. We're going to stripe it again this morning. Sand it out with 600. Hopefully sometime today we'll get another or get a spray coat on it. I did, I don't know if I told you this or not. I know I told John on the phone. Maybe, I don't know. I missed on sanding this trailing edge and it didn't look quite right. So in order to fix that, I just taped it off and acro greened it. And we'll just give it a quick sanding with some paper here. Use some 320. After I get that done, I will stripe it again. This 400. Use 400. I know I got some 320 around here. Here we go. As you can see, I got the got this area repaired where I had to cut in it for the tail wheel. Being an idiot. Try not to let that happen again. I might cut that vent out of my cowl because the cowl's got pretty heavy. Over an ounce now. It doesn't even have any paint on it yet. That is not good. I have to watch this area real close when I spray it. See if it looks right. Probably need a couple more sandings in it. But something's better than nothing. Feels good, but just because it feels good doesn't mean it is good. We might get some Viper plans next week, so I'm told. I'll get to look at them anyway. Haven't heard from Tony about video, so I don't know what he's doing. Video, I don't know, it's not really necessary. I can always deliver the video at a later date. It's cold, it's rainy, it's crappy here in the Midwest. I don't know what happened to summer. It just disappeared. So it's just on for building, I guess. Ain't gonna be much flying going on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna grind that cowl, inside of that cowl out. Get rid of that venting system that's in there and the superfill I added and all that. Looks cool, but weighs too much. So I'll get the third coat of striping on here on the bottom. I got it on the top. As I get this sanded out here. And I can wait and flip it over and do the top again. That'll be the fourth coat. I don't know how many guys saw that, but it's a shame Mark Gerber crashed his Bearcat. But he didn't have the prop on it that I give him, so he saved a good prop, irreplaceable prop. That's not really a good consolation, but that was a nice airplane. Nice looking airplane. I got a couple of spots on top that I need to retissue because I sanded through the tissue. And there's a spot on the wingtip I need to retissue. I'd like the finish on this one to be super sweet, you know? So I can spend a few more minutes doing that. Getting it all good to go. At least I don't have to take the tissue off of this and redo this trailing edge. Save. That'll be fine. Okay, now we got some thick dope. This is really thick dope in here. We'll add a little thinner and we'll start striping. Let me wipe that off. Pretty important. These and the beam wing. She's picking up weight though. Picking up weight fast. $27.9 right now. So might as well say 28 ounces. See, I'll leave the superfill. I'll leave the superfill in this, but I think I'm going to cut this out. I can feel the weight in the back of this cow. Cut this piece out and grind it out and see if I can't thin it out some more, because it's over an ounce. That's not good. Not without paint on it. I think what I can do, yep, I can cut that out and then have them draw a line on it and cut down to the line. The reason why I wanted them, I could make them a 16th, I suppose. Got to have something there, else they'll break out of there. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna thin it out some. You can feel that weight. Good. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it as is. No clue yet. Got to figure out how to sand it a little better though. Okay, thinner. Got to have the thinner in there. Well, we got poppers today. Popping in, popping out. Pop, pop, pop. See ya. We got the poppers today. I've changed my mind on the pearl. I'm not going to add pearl. It would be impossible to repair. We might add a small bit of pearl somewhere, but I'm not going to spray the whole thing in pearl. Because if I poked a hole in it or something with a pearl color and had to repair it, it would stick out like a sore thumb. If I do a small stripe or something, I probably can do it. If this was a foam wing, or it was a solid wing, I might do it because it's pretty hard to poke a hole in a foam wing. Pretty easy to poke a hole in a beam wing. More than likely, it's going to happen. I think we might need some more thinner in this. This step is so important, along with a dozen other steps that are super important. And we're back up to 2 watchers. How long will the poppers stay in? Pop in, pop out. Pop, pop, pop. Shit, I thought we were on the right one. Now we're on the, the wrong one. Okay, let's go there. You'll be able to see here in a second. I'll be in clear view here in a second. Yeah. You don't do this, you'll sand through the ribs, guaranteed. If you sand at all. Yeah, shit. Long day coming. Okay. Oh, hello, Nelson. Third coat. Yes. Gonna get 6. 6 on the ribs. John and I were talking this morning. I was gonna let it go with 3, but I don't want to get to the end and go, I wish I'd have put more dope on them ribs. So just bite the bullet and take my time. I know you guys want to see something different, but I got to do what I got to do for this airplane. We got to make it nice. I almost made it to the end with one load. Okie dokie, let's do that other flap, and then we'll wait a minute, turn it over, and do the other side, and sand away. Sando the bando. I got the 600. We might go down to 1,000. I need to get a piece of tissue on this tip right here and a piece on the top. Sando the bando. I'm hoping to get the spraying today. I must have forgot how to get these on and off. Getting harder and harder to get on and off. See that? I'm getting tired of it. Anybody wants to buy one of these Vipers, I'll frame you up one for 1,500 bucks. I won't finish it, but I'll build it. You can cover and finish it. No shipping. You're gonna have to pick it up. Ain't making no money at that rate, but well, that's good, Nelson. There's a lot more to it than people think. But even though there's something more to it, doesn't mean that anybody can't do it. I mean, anybody that has good hand-eye coordination, familiarity with tools, and the love of sanding can build this airplane. Oh, I'm sure. Yes, we are going to sell plans. I am waiting on the proofs. They were supposed to be done yesterday, but he got busy. You know, life gets in the way. Maybe we'll get to look at them next week sometime. And I'll be selling the plans via PDF, meaning it'll be instant download. You just go and download them and take them, put it on a thumb drive, take it to your, printer, and say, print these up for me, and out they come. Pretty soon I should be able to flip it over and do the top again. That'd be the fourth coat on the top. This is 3 coats on the ribs. I think I'm going to try to true this spinner up today too while I'm at it. That's a shame that they did this. It's the right shape on one side and it's up high on the other. So the guy who put this in the mold or whatever wasn't paying attention. But I'll fix it for him. Because we're going to paint it anyway. Okay, fourth coat coming up. Coat 4. We might just go through this and get it ready to spray. Just blast through it and do it. Well, taking the paint a lot nicer on the fourth coat. What is my opinion on control line electric stunt? Well, I built, I don't know, 5 purpose-built electric stunt airplanes a few years back. I even built one of these as an electric Viper. Well, Viper 8 was converted to electric. And then I built a purpose-built Viper 9 as electric. My opinion of electric is not real high. You guys are going to have to give me a second. I got to go visit the restroom. Intermission. Okay. Sorry about that. Nature called. Back to what's my opinion of electric stunt. I don't like it. I mean, it's one way to do it, but see, we left off on that. There's a few reasons I don't like it. One of them is, hey, let's go flying. Oh wait, I got to charge my batteries. I think that's probably the biggest reason. That and I'm a gearhead. I like motors, engines, nitro, alcohol. I think we'll just go with 5. So be one more coat after this. And then I'll put a spray coat on it and see what it looks like. And then if it needs another one, I can do it after that spray coat, I suppose. So it's 3 coats of dope. on the entire airplane. And we're going to do 5 coats of dope on the ribs. So that's 8 coats on just the ribs. And you say, well, why don't I just spray it? Well, this concentration of dope here is right where it belongs. If I sprayed it, it would be carrying around a bunch of weight I didn't want. I got off into this weight thing from a character named Ron O'Toole. He has definitely convinced me weight matters. Now it only took 30 years, but that looks good. That looks good. Let's go to the other side. Then, of course, talking to Billy. He's a weight fanatic. I think he'd be impressed with the performance of a Viper. Of course, it's pretty hard to beat his 53-ounce Thunderbolt. Pretty hard. I wasn't around him in the 60s. I bet he was a terror. He's awful good. Of course, he's over 80 now, and shit kind of slows down when you get to be 80 years old. Not that I used to really like to talk to Lou Willard. John DeTavio was pretty cool. So this is 4 coats on the top. Pretty thick too. I don't know. I think maybe I get by with 4 coats. It's butyrate. It's tinted so close to superfill, it's exactly the same as superfill. There's no paint on that fillet right there. That's superfill fillet. I didn't do that on purpose either. That was just a fluke accident. If you want this blue, this color blue, get a scale. Get a scale and put in 656 grams of Insignia white and 38 grams of Insignia blue. And that will get you this color. And then looking at the Randolph color chart, their light blue is putrid compared to this. I'll show you. Let me get this wing down, then we go back. I'll show you that chart, and then we'll do the flaps and the stabilizer. I didn't care for their light blue at all, and I got a quart of it here somewhere. You only need the 3 primary colors to make any color. Well, you actually need 5. You need black, white, blue, yellow, and red. And if you have those colors, you have every color of the spectrum. And always mix your dark color into your light color. Don't mix your light color into your dark color, otherwise you'll have a mess. Okay, I'll show you the Randolph blue. Hopefully it'll come across on the computer. They call that Lakeland blue. That blue is nowhere near that blue. That's their light blue right there. And this medium blue that I mixed, they call it Bahama blue, is nowhere near the blue that I got. That blue I got is nice. This secondary color. Of course, we're going to have the, I'm thinking about having 7 different blues on this. And I only use butyrate dope. This is my blue, secondary blue. It's made the same way with white and Insignia blue. I have to stir it really good. I need to get a paint shaker. But that's a beautiful colored blue. It's like this, not like this. This is, it needs to be shook. No. This is my sanding base right here, which is sprayed on the airplane, which is clear with a couple of ounces of this blue, which is this color blue, only 100% paint. It's right there, 100% paint, not clear. Right there. So you want to make that blue. It's 656 grams of insignia white and 38 of insignia blue. So I wonder if we're going to get into top coating this today. Maybe. Of course, it's 12 o'clock. We probably won't be till 5 o'clock before I get the top coating. Because it all has to be sanded. Still working on my original quart of paint. I haven't added any extra to it. One quart of paint is all you get. And the Shine 6. Let me check it again. Yes, 656 Randolph Insignia White. Well, let's say 38 Insignia Blue. Randolph Butyrate Dope. And how I did that was, how I got the accurate measure, is I put the mason jar on the scale. I pushed the tare button so it went to 0. Poured in white almost to the top, 656 grams. Then after I got 656 in it, I pushed the button to 0. And I added 38 grams of Insignia Blue. Pretty simple. Just like they mix at a mixing, station. The problem is, the problem lies in probably the blue paint. Hopefully not all Insignia blues are the same. It's like if you buy 2 quarts of red and you plan on painting your car, motorcycle, or airplane red, and you got 2 different quarts, you better mix those quarts together and stir it up, because they're just a shade off. And that's basically what would happen here. So I've given you the formula 65638, and you'll mix it over there. And if you were to bring it here, it would be really damn close, but you'd be able to tell. it'd be either lighter or darker one way or the other. First off, the Insignia blue that you used is out of a different quart than the one that I used. So is that blue mixed 100% right? You know, so you're looking at the mistakes down the way, because when you watch them mix this stuff, you know, you got guys that ain't painters mixing this stuff. They're just salespeople. Calls, let's say that it calls for 656. It's 659. That's close enough. Yeah. 1 gram either way makes a shade difference. So all you can do is try, you know. It'll be close. Let's put the fourth one on the bottom. So that's 4. Rig out the 600, I guess. What do I want to do here? I was telling John this morning, we were on the phone, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. Which one of these two brushes do you think would hold more paint? This one or this one? Well, I can already tell you, this is the cheap $3.69 SIG 1-inch brush. This is the German brush that's 25 bucks. This one has thicker hair. This holds twice the paint this one does. This is a lettering brush, and this is a hobby brush. It's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. I still think I need to get a piece of tissue on that right there. So let's do that. Let's get a piece of tissue going down there. I'll have to sand that in. I sanded through on the adjoining line, top block to the fuselage size on the datum line. And if I don't put something over that, I'll guarantee that shows through come summertime. So we got time. That's right. But it's closer, you know, me giving you those numbers makes it closer than not having numbers at all. Where's my spray bottle? There. Okay, let me switch cameras. I want to show you what I'm talking about here. If you look right there on the datum line, this is where the top block attaches to the fuselage side. The glue line, it was hard, and I sanded right through that, through the paper right there. If you don't add silk span over the top of it, come summertime, that'll show. So we'll put a piece of tissue over the top of that, add 3 coats, sand. Come on, maybe I better just wet it first like this so you don't get the water everywhere. Yeah. It is a 50s color, I think. Powder blue. We had a 49 or a 50 Chevy that was this color when I was a kid. Now I can't get the damn thing unfolded. There it is. Going about it the wrong way. And that will disappear. Shit. Ours was our 49 or 50 was a Chevy, I think. Two-tone Chevy, hardtop, two-door. The top was a dark blue. That's back when they made cars instead of computers. And the nice thing about using this lettering brush is it doesn't leave any brush strokes in the paint. But you better clean it out because you'll ruin your $25 brush. Dope is hard on this, on brushes. Reminds me, I better rinse out that lettering or that striping brush. Of course, that would happen on the outboard side top. Okay. New way to clean the brush. I probably ought to get some clean thinner. Let me get some clean thinner here. I took all my shit thinner cans back to the recycler. Now I don't have a can to pour it in, so I gotta wait till that can's empty. So we need a little bit of shit thinner. We're almost empty on this too. I'm gonna have to buy another gallon of this crap. Okay, the new brush cleaning regimen is one dip in. Oh, take it out. Wipe it off. Get all the paint out of the hair. one dip. Wipe it off. Then we'll go over to my cleaning pot and swirl it. I am going to stripe with it again, so I'm not going to oil it. I'm going to use that again. I've made a good brush out of this by cutting the hair and stripping the shank. So it's a number 5, and it puts a 1/4 inch line down. It's really good. Okay, that's clean enough. Let's get another coat of paint on that. It should be ready. Yep. You know, I'm going to do it on the tip too, because I sanded through on the tip. That worked so good, we'll do it on the tip. So, I reshaped this tip. I didn't really like it, so the symmetry on the top of it. So I reshaped it, and I ended up burying the wood, sanding through the tissue. So I think that trick I just did will work really nice on this. Because there again, what'll happen is you say, well, it looks good, paint it looks good now, but come summer when you set it out on the tarmac, the grain will show through, and you go, why didn't I fix that? Of course, we're going to have a problem on the corners there, but should be all right. Sando it off. It'll be fine. I better rub that one in too. I forgot. Rub it in. I got to get it to stick. Well, I had to order another exhaust pipe for my car today, and shit just don't last. I'm gonna have to get another battery. That's $200. Got a 2-year warranty, and when does the battery take a dump? 2 years. Unbelievable. People have asked me, what do you think's wrong with the batteries? Well, we have no lead smelters in this country anymore, so it all comes, it's either made out of some other just as good as metal, just like the rest of the products that they put out, like lacquer thinners and stuff. Oh, this is just as good. No, it's not. I don't, I can't tell you what they're using instead of lead, but I know it ain't lead. We have no lead smelters here. And I think they're probably making them in China, because they're the big battery technology country, and they're junk. People better wake up. everybody talks about carbon. Well, without carbon dioxide, we'll die. Because what do you think the plants need to make oxygen? Duh, taught in grade school. CO2, CO2, yeah, whatever. There's a difference. See, they've got you bamboozled. There's a difference between carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, bad. That's what comes out of the exhaust pipe. Carbon dioxide is what you exhale, and that's good. And that's what they're worried about, CO2. I need to get the chemical concentrate for carbon monoxide. I don't know what the makeup of it is. I'm just tired of the BS. We got literate morons running this place. We got people in Congress that don't even know how to work a garbage disposal. Or that food comes from the ground. Give me a break. Everybody says, well, we'll burn methanol. Well, what are you going to do when you burn up all the food? Shit. And the British thermal units of methanol is not as good as gasoline. So you're less efficient. That's why you have to burn twice as much in an alcohol dragster. But it does run cooler. If we could make these airplanes run on gasoline, it'd take half. No, it would take maybe 2 ounces. Yeah, 2 ounces to do a pattern instead of 6. I think diesel's even more efficient than methanol. Then they want to make water hydro. Like, what are you gonna do when you burn up all the fresh water, you morons? What are you gonna have to drink? Oh man, it's ridiculous. Don't want to get too in depth in it. You guys won't like me anymore if I go off on a tangent. That's gonna turn out nice. For sure, what you have is a great color on my iPad. I have decades of experience mixing enamel for screen printing. Well, believe it or not, I screen printed too. I got a t-shirt iron here that I bought for sale. Never used it. It's brand new in the box. You know, it's for setting ink, for setting screens. When Stunhanger first started, I screen printed the shirts. I did all the screens in my bathtub. I even made my own 4-color print station. Okay. Okay, let's get another coat on this and rub it in so that when I go across there with the line, it doesn't peel up the paper. Okay, he's rubbed in now. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, what's really amazing on dope and thinners, Tom, is that there's one company in the country making it. And where is it located? All the dope comes certified, Acme, Randolph, Sig, Brodak, all the dope comes from one company, certified, what's it called? I've talked to the engineers there. Consolidated, excuse me. That's it. It comes from Consolidated Coatings. And where is that place located? None other than sunny Southern California. That is amazing. They must have a lot of money that they can fend off them goobers. When I was a mechanic, we had a girl come in selling brake clean. You know, citrus-based brake clean. She said it's biodegradable, non-toxic, good for the environment. She shot it in her mouth and drank it. Said it works like a charm. I said, yeah, let's see that. Let me try it. I smeared some grease on my lift, and I took PRC brake cleaner and wiped it right off. I took her brake cleaner, sprayed it, rub it. It doesn't work. If it's biodegradable, non-toxic, good for the environment, it don't work. So forget it. Back in the day, we used to clean with carbon tetrachloride. That shit was the greatest. Now you can't get it. I'm sure you could probably get it if you were in some kind of chemistry lab or something. Maybe someday I'll die from all the chemicals I've been exposed to, but as my dad said, who passed away at 98, you don't drink the paint. You don't eat the paint. Polyfiber on that. Here, Tom, you're a full-scale pilot. Go to Wix Aircraft and buy your components, MSAN fittings, dope, and plywood, whatever you're going to use, and enter the code STUNT10 and you get 10% off. And they're out of Highland, Illinois. I just was there this week. And more than likely, the guy you'll talk to, Scott Wick, is the guy who owns it. But more than likely, the guy you'll talk to is Eric. But he's he's knowledgeable guy. But Stunt 10 will get you. Let's say you want to buy a Garmin dashboard, a Garmin GPS for your airplane or whatever. They're pretty pricey. Stunt 10. I try to get everybody to go there and use that discount code. I have a Wix decal on every airplane I got. I really believe in their product, and they don't. They're not giving me any money to say that. I just like the service, and You can get the same stuff from Aircraft Spruce, but you ain't going to get a discount. 10% doesn't sound like much, but it covers the taxes. I don't think you get anything off on hazmat. But a lot of guys from the channel here have been going there and using that code, so that's good. What I really need is the Air Force Museum follows me. The guys over at because I went over there and showed them how to do some dope stuff with their full-scale airplanes. What they need to do is start buying from Wix instead of Aircraft Spruce. I went and I got a thing of Superfill and a gallon of A1690 non-tautening crystal clear. And it was $109 after the discount and everything. Steve, who went along, we went together, ordered a gallon of 1903. Is it 1903 or 903? 903 or 901? Let me see. $97.03 dope thinner. So use the discount code STUNT10, get 10% off. And she said, I've set it up on the counter. She said, that would be $256. He went, what? I only ordered a gallon of thinner. She, oh, I put in the 5-gallon bucket. Yeah. Of course, that was no big deal. She fixed it right away. Yeah, I just was there Wednesday. I did a Wix tour on the channel. There's 400. God, he likes the organ part. He's back there with the organ. Not so much the airplanes anymore. I think his dad was more into airplanes and Scott was more into music. So they're back there farting around with restoring Wix organs, some old Wix organs. And they're beautiful pieces of craftsmanship, you know, wood and lacquer and if you look at every one of my airplanes, they got a Wix decal on it. Wix logo. Okay, I think that's going to do it for as far as the dope goes on that patch. I'll have to let it dry really well and sand it with 4 and 600 to make sure it blends good, but yeah, the National Air Force Museum watches this channel. They're a member here. I was an AMS in the Navy, aviation instruction mechanic, and this was my job. This is what I did: painted airplanes. We didn't use dope; we used epoxy. I painted F-14s, and I have painted an F-4U Corsair. That was with dope, by the way. Yeah. I'm the designer of the Bicentennial F-14. If you look that up, 1976 F-14 for VF-124. I'm the guy who designed that paint scheme. If you look up 1975 VF-211 Checkmates, I'm the guy who designed that paint scheme. Got a whopping 2 weeks leave out of the deal. Navy wasn't a good deal for me. Waste of time. I mean, it taught me a lot. And a lot of fun in Millington flying model airplanes at the Naval Air Station. Yeah, the Wolfpack VF-1 had a cool paint scheme with the red stripe down the fuselage and the wolf's head. And let's see, VF-124 was a RAG squadron, so it didn't have much of a squadron logo. Let's see what your VF2 was all right. Okay, they had the red, white, and blue stripes through the insignia underneath the canopy. All that shit was epoxy. White on the bottom, gray on the top, and then the squadron colors, unless they went to the gray out scheme where everything was, it was on there, but it was dusted over with gray to camouflage it. Everybody thinks that they're light blue on the bottom. They're white. They're insignia white on the bottom. Blue on top, light or gray on top, so that they blend into the ocean. That'll be fine. As soon as that dries, that is fixed up there. Tomcat was a unique airplane. And now there's a guy on YouTube, Ward Carroll. He was in the Pukin Dogs. He was on the other coast. He was on the right coast or the left coast or whatever you want. He was on the east coast. I was on the west coast. But I think VF-141, maybe it was 114. I don't know. But I'll tell you what I know about the F-14. When it first came out, I was in there I was in before Ward Carroll was in. He was in 10 years after I was, just like Danny. He was in 10, doing the same job I did, only 10 years later on the same airplane. Anyway, Dan, I can't think of his last name. Anyway, here's what I know about the F-14. I saw Grumman films of that airplane doing 0 forward airspeed and 0 altitude. They pulled it up on its nose and hung it on its tail. Now, those were the A motors. Those weren't the powerful motors that they have today, but they'd throttle them up in zone 5, and it would just kind of move forward like that, and it'd be on its tail on the thrust. Then they used to do a trick called the wow trick, and they had the landing gear up switch, and the wow switch is the weight on wheels switch, and they'd get rolling, and just as they would lift off the deck, the landing gear would suck up and it drop to the deck like a piece of plywood, and they use ground effects and throw it in burner and take off. The plane would go Mach 2 plus. No pilot would ever tell me exactly how fast it would go, but Mach 2 plus. A 0-0 Martin Baker seat in it, meaning they could be sitting on the deck and eject without any forward airspeed and clear the aircraft. The canopy, the NFO or Naval Flight Officer in the back, their RIO, a radio operator in the back, would pull his face shield first, and he'd first the canopy go, and then so many tenths of a second later the RIO would go, and then the pilot would go, and they'd go off on opposite sides. It had a 6,000 round a minute Gatling cannon on the front. Now, they didn't carry 6,000 rounds, but when they used to sight it in, I'd go down there and watch, and they go, burp, burp, and just, if you think the Warthog had a cannon, that had a cannon on it. It would carry Phoenix, Bullpup, and AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. It was a lethal platform, and the AUG-9 radar system on it had a great big dome on it with the nose hinged up on a hinge, had a big dish in it. And if you're ever standing in front of it and you get feeling warm, you're dead, because you're cooked from the inside. That's that radar. And it would track over the horizon 5 targets, and the RIO would shoot, and it hit every target, and they couldn't even see them over the horizon. That was an amazing airplane. I got one of the guys on the forum sent me the last the Sundown patch and a bunch of memorabilia, different stickers from, I guess it was Iraq that they flew them in. I don't know. I wasn't in then, so I don't know. But he sent me a bunch of pictures and memorabilia from the Sundown flight, the Sundown cruise, the final cruise of the F-14, because he knew I was there at the beginning. The variable geometry, they called the back of the airplane the tennis court. It was huge. It had a 60-foot wingspan. I think it was a 48-foot long, 60-foot wingspan. And when it was folded up, it was pretty good, pretty small. It had 2 ladders on it, one for, we had one ladder, and then it split off into 2. You go up the ladder, and it had 2 steps, one for the rear, the NFO, and then one for the pilot. It was cool. It was really cool. That airplane was cool. And the thing that I miss most about the Navy is the chocolate milk. They had the best chocolate milk in the world. Tastes like a milkshake. Come in a box. Then a big stainless steel container had a big, heavy stainless stopper on the drink that ice cold chocolate milk. Boy, it was good stuff. Midrats was pretty cool too. When I was at Miramar, we used to go out drinking and come back at 2 o'clock in the morning, go eat Midrats. We had great food. At least, on base we did. I in a way I screwed up. Navy didn't. I went to be right after the Navy. I went into being a mechanic, motorcycle mechanic. I screwed up and should have got an A&P license and become an aircraft mechanic. I've done some local aircraft work around here where I fixed some wheel pants and shit like that, for guys. But but nothing too drastic. I don't have an A&P license, so I can't do that. And it's too late in my life to worry about getting one. You know, retirement age. It's not the time to go be getting an A&P license. So I will just build my experimental toys here. For those of you guys who fly real airplanes, and if you're flying a fabric colored airplane that's stitched, you want to keep the dope from cracking. Add 1 drop of food grade castor oil per ounce of dope. So for the gallon, it's with 128 drops out of an eyedropper. Put it on the shaker, mix it up. What that is a plasticizer. It'll keep it from splitting. I taught that to them guys at the Air Force Museum. They got a whole restoration crew there. I had a VIP card with them guys because don't ever donate to the Air Force Museum. You'll be sorry. You'll get more crap than you can. I'll show you something. You guys will be interested in this. Not many people have this. Come on, where are you? I thought it was in this. Here it is. How many of you guys know, is it this camera? No, we'll switch to this camera so I can hold it close. How many of you guys have one of these? Yeah, we'll just leave it in there. This is the ugly side. And that's the pretty side. This thing weighs about a pound. Let's see, what does it weigh? Scale is over there. Nope, not a pound. It's 2.1 ounces. It's a beauty. Yeah, it was given to me by one of them old guys that was on that stupid thing. Can't remember his name. Yeah. I talked to one of the Tuskegee Airmen one time. They're all dead now, unfortunately. Let's get a little 600 on this. We should be able to close this up now. You got an hour to kill and want to listen to stories, true stories of World War II. My dad did an interview with Navy. It's online. Unfortunately, he had it. It was after he had his stroke. I wish they'd have got him before because he doesn't sound as sharp, but he still gets it across pretty damn good. His adventures in every major battle of the Pacific on AO-62. I'll Google it and I'll put the link in the chat here or in the description one. You know, he never would talk about that with us kids. I guess it was terrible. Well, that's not true. He did tell me some stories. One year at the Nats, he came to the Nats with me, and we went up to his hometown where he grew up as a kid, where he flew model airplanes, which is right up from Muncie. It's Barron Springs, Michigan, just on the other side of the border of Indiana. So we drove up there and spent a couple of days at his old hangout, and I got to see my grandfather's drugstore, and he did tell me, you know, we talked in the drive about different shit that happened in his life. Well, that repaired nice. That repaired nice. You talk about a guy who was smart. That guy was smart. You had a question, he had the answer. The greatest generation really had their act together. If something like that ever happened today, which it's coming, we're in trouble with these blue-haired freaks. Everybody pulled together, the women, the men. The war effort was amazing. I think we're sunk now. So I got that repaired. That's nice. That's good. So I can let me sand that with 600. We'll put one more coat on that, and I'll clean the brush up, and we'll start striping the bottom. Got to get it ready for a spray coat. We've been on an hour and 40 some minutes now. I'm in no rush. Gotta stop because I can see that line coming back. Wish I had my beloved DC 540. I got a gallon of primer out there in the garage, and I was been threatening to take that and mix some xylene and some MEK in it and make my own. But I haven't got it. It's heavy. Boy, that stuff is heavy. 16 pounds or something per gallon of paint. It's ridiculous. I don't know what that is. We're gonna have to sand that and watch that. That's a piece of tissue. Okay. Okay, let's clean up the brush. So it's one dip in, wipe it off. One dip in. Yeah, this is the new way to clean brushes and not screw up the thinner so bad. Let me set this handle down in there like that and get it. I like to get the rest of that paint stripped off that handle. That'd be good. Pick up all these little bits, hunks, crap. Yeah, I thought yesterday was a disaster when this thing slipped off the scale. God, what an idiot. Thankfully, it was a slow burn and I caught it. We won't need this. I think tomorrow I'm going to go out in the garage and make a couple cat condos. I think that particle board will be fine. Be fine for one season anyway. Can't let the little kitties freeze. Get this there. And you won't need this, I don't think. It's really cold outside now. Summer went away in one day. They're having a turkey shoot out at the field today, but I got no airplanes for balloon bust and stuffing into the garbage can and all that other nonsense, so I ain't bothering. Take my airplane and stuff it in the garbage can. Yeah, sure. I don't think so. This is gone anyway, so we throw it out. The amount of trash I generate here is ridiculous. Oh yeah, it feels good. How about this? Oh, got that repaired. That's good. So now we're back to striping. I think we'll stop at 2 hours, and when we come back, I'll have this plate mounted in. We'll get it on the paint stand, and I'll shoot the rest of that base coat on. And then it's all about sanding. Sand some more. This quart of paint right here is out of the original quart of paint that I mixed at the beginning of this finish. I just kept adding thinner, adding thinner. I would say this is probably got to be at least 80% thinner. But we're going to spray that on this, and that should lock everything down. We'll sand it. And I'll take my top coat and I'll spray one coat of top coat on it. And I really wanted to use that inner coat clear, but if I make this thing candy apple, it'll be impossible to repair, and that's not good. And I want to try it, and I would do it if I could be assured that there wouldn't be a repair. Because even as such as Nelson has mentioned there, even though I have the paint code for this, I'm not sure I could make it exact, you know. You could try, it'll be close, it'll be damn close, but if you paint a car white and then wait a week and come back and paint a second coat and paint the door white out of the same bunch, same batch of paint, it'll be a different color. So if I add pearl to it, it'd really make it dramatic. I was thinking about maybe just some panels or something of pearl just to see what it looked like. And then with the blues on the scallops, you know, they're going to be a combination of my medium blue and some other blue. I might add some white. Maybe I'll add some white or add a tint of green to it. That might or I know. We'll add some red to the next color. We'll add some of that flashy red that I had custom, you know, that was custom mixed. I didn't have it mixed. It was a mistake. It was polyfiber mixed in Randolph. But that's the color I painted my Magnum. We'll add some red to it, and that'll make it a purple hue. So I'll have Insignia blue, the Bama blue, the purple blue, and maybe another. I gotta see what's directly across from blue. It's orange. Maybe, yeah, we're gonna have an orange canopy. So I see that, or a green canopy. That's across from purple. I just don't know. It's hard to use the color wheel in your mind and envision what it's going to look like. I just know that I want it monochromatic. I haven't had one of them. I had one 50 years ago. Since the last shining, I also, we're on that camera there now. Of course, we're always on a camera I don't want to be on. I've also taken my Kutzall bit all of the engine bay out real good and put Z-epoxy inside here. So we finished that. And I also put fillets in here on the nose ring, balsa wood fillets, so that the nose ring is 100% engagement. Because it takes a beating the way that my cowls mount. And this thing feels so heavy on that end, I'm going to have to take this out of here. This thing's an ounce, and it's just too damn heavy. No matter that I wanted to hide the fuel tank. I'm going to leave half of that. I'm going to take half of it out. We got to get half the weight out. And maybe I'll go back in with my cut-saw bit and grind some more out and make this thinner. Two minutes. 2 minutos. Here we are right here. I gotta lighten this up somehow. It's just too damn heavy. I didn't figure on it being an ounce, over an ounce. Nelson, if you're looking for a t-shirt, a transfer set iron, I got one brand new in the box. I was going to airbrush t-shirts for a while and then set the ink, the Createx with that. But you could probably set screen ink with it. On the floor over there, other side of that wall. In the box, never used. I know where I could sell it. ERB Industries. Let's see what I paid for it. I think it's $250. Still haven't got a hold of Ted Winterman. I think something might have happened to him. He's 85. I've known him 35 years. I can't see him not paying the bill. Let me, we're at 2 hours. I'll be back. Give me a couple hours. I'll sand and do whatever, and we'll get this mounted up with this plate and get it on that paint stand. I need to find my other plate. What the hell happened to it? All right, Fairwinds Tight Lines. See ya.